Welcome back to Story Time. And I have to tell you, I just got back from a trip to Minnesota to visit a friend of mine. And she is out um, looking for milkweed plants and looking for little caterpillars that are on them. And she brings them to her house, puts them in a safe spot with milkweed leaves, and then she watches them carefully and makes sure they have enough food. And eventually, within a few days, they make their chrysalis. And she had one while I was there, and it has something called jewelry, which means it's like a little gold necklace around the top of it. And then in a few days after that, it comes out as a butterfly. And after a few hours, she is able to let it go into nature and do what butterflies do. But it was exciting to see it and to watch how quickly those caterpillars grow. So today I have something called a nonfiction book. That means it's true, and it's going to have photographs in it. And this particular one, of course, is going to be about the life of a butterfly, which is the name of this book, and it's written by Robert Bernard, and she also took the photographs in this story. What do you see on this milkweed leaf? It looks like a little jelly bean or a dewdrop, but come closer and you'll find that it's really an egg, and something alive is hidden inside. And it shows you this is how big the egg really is. And they found what they thought was an egg and put it inside a container, but it didn't end up hatching a little caterpillar out of it. So they felt that wasn't the egg. And I was just curious what an egg looked like, and now I know. So I learned some new information just now, just like you may be learning. Soon the egg is ready to hatch. A tiny body squiggles and wiggles its way out. Do you know what it is? It's a caterpillar, and it's very, very hungry. This is how big the baby caterpillar is. Now if you look there, you see an inch, and you see how tiny that is. So they are very hard to find when they first hatch out of the egg, but it doesn't take them very long to grow larger, and then you're able to see them. Right away, the caterpillar eats its eggshell. Then it begins to nibble leaves. It eats and eats, growing bigger and fatter. And as it grows, it changes. Now the caterpillar has velvety stripes. And some of you may have done that in kindergarten class or sometime in school. And if you have, then this is all old information to you. The caterpillar has strong jaws on its head for chewing. It holds onto the leaf with its 16 legs. Munch crunch. The caterpillar is an eating machine. It moves along the milkweed plant, chewing up the leaves. And you can tell when there's one there because you start to see holes in the leaves. And of course they chew around the edges as well. When it is about 10 days old, the caterpillar stops eating. It looks for a safe place to rest. And when she has them in her container, what the caterpillar does is crawl up towards the top. And it's a zippered container, and it likes to be right up there at the top, and it attaches itself. And she said she worried about dislodging it, and it turns out that it's almost like super glue. The wind can blow it, and it can wiggle inside. You can wiggle the container when you move it from spot to spot, and it's not a problem for the caterpillar. This is how big the caterpillar is now, and this shows you it's about an inch and a half long when that happens. What letter of the alphabet do you think the caterpillar looks like? And if you said that it looks like a J, you are correct, and she talked about that. So again, that was something I had learned before I read the story. The caterpillar crawls under a leaf and hangs upside down. Then something amazing happens. The caterpillar begins to change shape. The caterpillar has become a chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, incredible things are happening. Nature is putting on a kind of magic show. It is turning the caterpillar into something new. And that is exactly what happens inside that chrysalis, because it was a caterpillar when it made that chrysalis around itself and turned into a pupa, and it is in the process of changing into a butterfly. And you can kind of see right there, that's what's called the necklace. And that is actually a shiny gold when you see it. And it's very much in contrast with that green. And then she said when it gets ready to hatch, that color changes dark, so that she knows that it's going to have a butterfly coming out. About 2 weeks later, you can see what's inside the chrysalis, and it is just starting to come out. It pushes and pushes until the chrysalis splits. Look, a beautiful monarch butterfly. Can you see the monarch's wings inside the chrysalis? The monarch's head pokes out of the chrysalis shell first. Then the monarch hangs onto the shell to stretch its wings. And last, how long does it take the monarch to break out of the shell and stretch its wings? Started at 12 o'clock, and now it's 3 o'clock. How many hours is that? 1, 2, 3. So if you said 3 hours, you are absolutely 100% correct. The butterfly only has 6 legs now, but it has grown brand new wings. At first they are wet and crumpled. Slowly, the butterfly stretches them out. The monarch rests and lets its wings dry in the sun. All the velvet stripes are gone now. Instead, the butterfly is covered with tiny scales. This is how big the butterfly is, and you can see in inches, it's about 4.5 inches. Take a close look at the monarch's wing. Tiny scales give the butterfly its color and pattern. Soon the butterfly can fly. It flutters from flower to flower. The butterfly has a straw-like tube on its head. It pokes the tube into a blossom to sip nectar. Nectar is a butterfly's food. That's why they like to grow milkweed pods around a flower garden, because then there are flowers for the butterfly to get the nectar from, to get its strength, and to get it ready for its life. You can find butterflies wherever there are flowers. There are 12 butterflies fluttering in this garden. How many monarchs can you count? Monarchs are poisonous. Their bright colors warn birds and other animals to stay away. They say, "Don't eat me. I taste awful." And that's that orange and black combination. As soon as there's a nip in the air, that means fall is coming, monarchs do what many birds do. They fly south for the winter. On wings as thin as tissue paper, they can fly across the ocean. Thousands of monarchs travel together. These monarchs are resting on a tree in Mexico. When spring comes, the monarchs will fly north again. Can you imagine seeing a tree covered with all those butterflies? How gorgeous that is. In the fall, the monarchs fly to Mexico and California. This map shows some of the paths that they follow. So in other words, they have a certain route that they take, just like birds do when they migrate south for the winter. On the way home, a monarch drops something on a milkweed leaf. It looks like a little jelly bean or a dewdrop, but you know what it really is, and just what's hidden inside. Then it gives you some fun facts. There are more than 15,000 different kinds of butterflies. Unfortunately, the monarchs and other butterflies are endangered because of pesticides that people use on their crops and when you take and put weed killer on your yard, those kinds of things, that isn't good for butterflies. And so right now we have 80% less monarch butterflies, and so that is a big concern because they do a wonderful job of flying from plant to plant, and they kind of also pollinate just like bees do because the pollen gets on their feet, and when they go to the next flower to get the nectar, then they're pollinating it as well. The smallest butterfly is the dwarf blue. It's about 1/2 inch big with its wings spread. Queen Alexandra's birdwing is the biggest butterfly. It measures 11 inches with its wings spread, and that's almost 1 foot in length. Some butterflies lay more than 1,000 eggs at a time. Butterflies don't have a nose. They smell things with their antenna. And that is the end of our story, The Life of a Butterfly. And hopefully you learned some new things. And if you ever want to know facts, nonfiction books are a wonderful place to go. And we have quite a few of those at the bookstore. Hope you're reading 20 minutes a day or more. And school sounds like school's going to start in a few weeks. So you want to have that brain ready to go. And so that's what you do. You keep reading. And when you get back to school, you're going to hit the ground running. And you won't be trying to remember all the things that you might have forgotten between last spring and the fall. So, happy reading. Bye-bye.